Hey Jim, your Gypsy fortune telling machine by Pierce Tool and Manufacturing Company has been gone through and it's all working. From your camera angle, you can't quite see in this window, but there is a penny in there right now, and this is where you place your prediction of what you're betting on, and then it spins the wheel, and if you have the ball fall in that number, then you win the number of coins that it says in the smaller numbers down here. So in other words, if you bet on a number 5, I'll move this to 5, and you'll see that, you can't see it probably, but the penny will drop out of here. It dropped, and so that prevents someone from having the ball sitting there. Ooh, look, that crescent right there, one little sliver, that's worth 33 coins. Now I can go over there and, oh, there's star, and there's the crescent. I could say, oh yeah, see, I bet on that. But every time you move this, you dropped a penny, so the store owner, bartender, could tell that you haven't just bet on that winning combination. But anyways, let's go back to number 5 here. Let's say I bet on 5 and I spin the wheel, and the ball lands in this section from here to here, which is 5. Well, if the ball lands right here on that number 3, and between those two pegs, then I get paid 3 coins. Right here, I'd be paid 15 coins. 3, 1, 2. So that's the number of coins you'll get if the 5 matches the 5, the ball anywhere there. So let's say, oh, here's 8's got quite a bit of space there. Let's bet on 8. But you'll notice when 8 comes around, it doesn't have any big payouts like the 15. I think the highest payout here is a 5. So, okay, we drop the coin in, and then we crank it, and then we let it go and it spins. Let the ball drop where it's going to, and the wheel stop. Oh, got past 8. Oh, look at that, ended on number 4. So if I would have bet on 4, this would be sitting on a 4, and the barkeep could see that there's a penny in here. And oh, okay, yeah, you bet on 4, you did play a valid penny. So right here, there's a number 4 there. You're going to get paid out 4 coins, or whatever the house did for, trade stimulation, stimulating trade in their establishment. So I place a new bet. Let's go. Oh, I'll go for the star. Let's go for big bucks. Oh, I'll go to the moon instead. Okay, so if I land on that one little sliver right there, I'll be paid 33 coins. Let's see how lucky I am. Nope. If I would have bet on 3, then I would have landed in this area with the ball, and I have 2 coins being paid out to me. So that's how it works. Let's open it up and see what's going on inside. The first thing you have to know about servicing this is that if you're going to take this wheel off, this screw is a left-handed thread, which means the way you would normally tighten up a screw is the way you want to turn this, in other words, in a clockwise direction, and that will actually loosen the screw and remove it. The reason why this screw is a left-handed screw is because when the wheel spins, it spins in this direction. And a normal screw, the friction on there would want to grab this screw and actually unscrew it. But because of the way this spins, and this being a left-handed thread, to tighten it goes this way, you're keeping this screw tight instead of trying to loosen it up. The other thing we have around the back side here is a little metal feeler, and that's just resting on this wheel just ever so slightly. Not a lot of pressure, just kind of dragging on it. And so you'll hear that drag when the wheel spins. Yeah, that's what you hear. But that's needed because this spins so freely that if you didn't have it, it would literally spin for 3-4 minutes before it would ever stop. but with that little bit of drag, it slows it down. You get a couple good revolutions, and then that's it. If the handle is cranked without putting a coin in, this lever, or this feeler arm, pushes through where the coin chute is and where the penny rests, and so it doesn't allow the mechanism to cycle. It does, however, lift this little dog that lifts this lever and opens up the trap door and lets the last penny fall out. So if you try to crank the handle after you've played it, you will lose the penny there that shows you did play a valid coin. So when I drop a penny in, it comes to rest right here. So now this finger is going to push on that penny instead of going through the slot here in this back L bracket or L lever, and so it's taking that sliding lever, and now with the penny blocking the hole, it allows it to cock this mechanism, and we do that by this lever here going up and over this curve. So it rides up and over until we get all the way until it falls off this ledge, and then that is now the mechanism cocked and ready to go. And then when I start to go back the other way, the penny drops here, which shows I've played a real coin, and this lever goes and starts to right there engage this. And so this lever here is what's holding back this finger or this lever until this starts to move it, and it pivots. It lets a rod that's on the back side slip past it when it pivots out of the way, and then this spring tension will quickly pull this on the bottom side, and that does a couple things. On the bottom side, it allows it to engage this star wheel right here, and so it grabs it, and that's what kicks it off spinning. And then the other thing it does is it pushes this lever back, which was your telltale reset. And then the last thing it does is it drops in here and pushes this down. And when it pushes this down, it releases this lever, which allows you to vend a gumball. So when I open the door and get my gumball, watch this right here. All right, it resets. And so now I can't get another gumball until the next time I play it, and as this comes back and pushes this down, it'll move that out of the way, like that. Now I can vend another gumball. Okay, and with this wheel out of the way, this is kind of cocked at an angle, but it sits back like this, and then it goes down and slides over and back into place. When I make a selection on my prediction wheel, the back side is got protrusions that will push this rod down, lifting this and dropping my coin. So in other words, as I go to set the prediction I want, watch the coin here, it drops. And so this way I couldn't spin the wheel and whatever I stopped on, then go make that winning combination and show the storekeeper, the bartender, hey look, I bet there's a penny and I'm on a winning combination. Because trying to go match that combination, you lose your coin. If you try to cheat the machine, that little ball which is sitting on a pedestal, if I try to rock it or move it, see, I fall off of that. So that's called the telltale or tattletale, to tell the store owner, barkeep, that you've been rough with the machine. To reset that, as this mechanism gets cocked or loaded ready to spin the wheel, this lever goes up and over this shape. It rides up and over it, and it frees this arm to pivot and be pulled by this spring. So this arm pulls, and it's an L-shaped arm. This goes up and it pushes on this pin. And I'll show you on the top side. When you push on that pin, it raises that cup all the way around the ball, and then when it drops back down again, now it's sitting on the height of that little ledge, and it'll stay there until I shake it and it'll fall off. So pushing up on that pin is what resets the telltale or tattletale at the start of every game. And then to adjust the amount of spring tension, the force for how fast you want to spin that wheel, there's a screw right here with 2 nuts on each side. So this screw can go in and out, and that'll give you more or less spring tension pulling back on this. I have replaced your broken glass. This is a 9 1/4 inch diameter convex glass, and I put in new rubber washers. I cut these by hand, and then also I put a layer of weather strip right in here. So you've got a cushion. There's weather strip on one side and rubber on the other side of the glass. So it's got a cushion there. It should be okay unless it really gets a really hard jolt during shipping. You should be fine. And then I've got the extra piece of glass here, which I'll pad real well, and you'll have that as a spare just in case. But as you can see, it fits on, you know, really nice, and it's really easy to swap out. These 4 red levers right here are all that's holding this front face onto the machine. So with this flipped around, these levers go in here and they flip up, and you just screw it, you know, so they're holding on the inside of the case. So it's real easy to take off if you have to. The other thing I did, I'm going to put this inside the case when I send it back to you, but I did not reuse it. It's not necessary in your machine. It does go right here, and what it would do, I think, is it would make the ball hop up out of the pegs, but the ball does that anyways as it starts to spin around. So the reason I'm not putting it back on is because this glass with the weather stripping, it's sitting up, and as I put this on, it's actually putting some pressure on this glass, and it's not padded or anything, so it would be one part of the glass that's got pressure on it compared to everything else, and I just don't want to take a chance on it maybe breaking in shipment. So anyways, this does go with the machine. Keep it for originality, but you don't need it. Here's a picture behind, and what I'll do is I'll turn the knob on the front for setting, you know, your prediction, and you'll see how these little fan blades or these protrusions will kick this arm, and that's what drops your penny through. So get my hand on here. Okay, when I start to, you know, see the penny drop. Yeah, penny drop through right there. See, every time I pick a new selection, it's allowing that lever to open the trap door. And this also, you know, holds the position so I can't be in between like 2 predictions. Each one of those is an indent. And so I'll put a penny in, and I'll crank the handle, and you can watch it from this side. And you can see there's that rod that drags on the wheel, and then this lever kicked back here, dropped down into here so it could enable the gumball to be vented. And this is the back side of that tattletale reset, where this goes up and pushes on the plunger. Jim, you'll find that when you put a penny in and then you go to crank the handle, quite often it will feel like it's stuck, it won't go, but then if you let the pressure off just a little bit, then it'll crank. And it does that because the mechanism inside is very old, got a lot of wear on it, and sometimes it sticks just in one little area, but just letting the pressure off like I showed you allows it to get past that one little stuck point, and then it works fine. So give that a try. You should be good. Let's get in here and watch the ball fly. Oh, a 6. Oh, that's a big one. That would have been a 20 coin payout. There's a 20 behind there if I would have bet on 6, but I didn't. You may also notice that after you spin the wheel and go to get your gumball, sometimes the door may stick a little. You just have to jig a little bit and then open it up and you can get your gumball. And then, as you see, it doesn't bend a second one, only one per play. They may be sticking because, I don't know this for sure, but the gumball might just be a little bit too small. So if you can find some gumballs that are larger than what you currently have in there, and you know, as long as they'll go in this hole right here, that's where you fill it, then you should be okay. I'll play it again here. And notice, after another play, I just have to jig a little bit, and then I get the ball. But it looks like a bigger gumball could go in there. And then, see, only one ball per play.
For more information, visit GameRoomRepair.com.